Hi guys, episode 13 of the Moonchild podcast show. And this episode is about a question that I get a lot from my clients and from people that follow me on social media. And the question is, should I stay or should I go? In other words, should I file for divorce or should I give it one more try? And I usually get this question from people who say, from women who say, I've tried it all. I asked him to go to couples therapy. I've been working on myself for a long time and nothing really works. It just doesn't work. He's like, he doesn't want to move. He thinks it's all me that's the bad guy or the bad girl in this example. I've tried it all and oh my gosh, should I stay or should I go? I don't want to do this to my kids. I actually somehow feel I should give it one more go, but when do you decide that it's enough? When do you decide that it's time for divorce? Well, obviously there's no straight answer for everybody, right? Because what's your situation is not somebody else's situation, and it also depends on, what happened. For me, there's only two barriers. And I mean, with barriers, I mean two limits. If there's an abusive situation, get out of there. If there's like really, physical abuse, or when the kids are being abused, or sexual abuse, that's definitely a boundary for me. That's a no-go. There's another boundary, for me at least, and that is like severe alcoholism or drug abuse, or a really tough mental disorder. And if somebody is like in treatment and it doesn't work, and I mean about your spouse, right? For instance, borderline, or when it's like really serious and there's nothing you can change there, and whatever you do, it's never going to work because of the mental condition of your spouse, then that's that's really, really difficult. But other than that, if you have I'm not going to say but if you have trouble communicating with your partner, or when the sexual relationship is not healthy, or at least not as what you want it to be, or when you just feel like you can't connect to your partner anymore, that is no reason for me to file for divorce. Not unless you do something about it, right? So those are the two barriers that I have, and obviously it can be different for you, but when you ask me, this is my answer. Really, abuse and like an addiction or just a mental condition that you can't deal with. So all other situations, if there's still hope somewhere, even if it's like deep in your toes, if it's tucked away deeply, but if you feel like there's a little spark left and you really would love to make it work but you don't know how, then don't go for divorce yet. That is a signal that you should give it another try, at least in my opinion. Even if you're thinking about divorce, even if you've been speaking about it, even if you or your husband cheated on the other person, even if you've already tried couples therapy but it didn't work, there is something you can do. And I'm teaching that to my clients and maybe to you, because I believe that once you change something in your energy and the way you respond to the other person, I'm not saying reacting, I'm saying responding, and when you change the pattern that you're in, on communication, on how you behave towards each other, then there is definitely something you can do. And the misconception here is that you need your partner to change things around, because you don't. Because a pattern, well, first of all, let me say this. People feel pretty powerless. They feel like they're stuck in a corner and they can't do anything unless the other person comes with them. Well, it does take two to tango, but it takes one to step out of a toxic pattern. And by toxic pattern, I mean a toxic relationship pattern. Like bad communication, arguing, deafening silence in your home because you both withdraw, or I don't know, slamming the doors, or not being able to speak about anything else but the weather or the kids. So as soon as you get into a real conversation, things get out of hand. That you can practice, that you can change by yourself, because it's just a pattern. That's what it is. You're stuck in a pattern, and once you step out of it, the other person can't stay in, because it takes two to tango in a pattern. So the question was, should I stay or should I go? Well, the answer is, if there is still hope, and if there still is a desire to have a happy marriage, even if you've tried couples therapy, even if somebody cheated, even if, you feel like you're taking responsibility all the time and your husband doesn't, all those situations, yes, you can change something by yourself. You don't need your husband to change with you. Because what I hear a lot is that the women call me and they say, well, I suggested couples therapy to my husband and he says, no, I don't believe in that. Or no, we've tried it already and it didn't work. No, because you need to change. That's what husbands sometimes say. And to be frank, it's the other way around too. Because in a lot of cases, my clients call me at first and they say, well, I would really like him to change this and this and that. And I always ask, well, have you asked him to change that? And they say yes. And I said, so what's the answer? Well, the answer is that he didn't change anything. Right, and that's because you can't change the other person. But people forget that they hold so much power in their relationships, only they don't realize it. Because when you have two people in a relationship, you hold 50% of the power, right? Because it's the two of you. So whilst people feel powerless because they feel like they've tried it all and nothing worked, it's actually just a story and it's not true. What is true is that you hold 50% of the power. So if you know how to change things, then you can. Because the pattern that you're in contains two people, and once you step out of it, the other person can't stay in. I hope it makes sense. And I would really encourage you to watch my webinar, The 5 Shifts to Rock Your Marriage Again, even when divorce is on your mind daily, because I explain how this works in that webinar. It's totally free. You can sign up for it by bit.ly//rock marriage. I'll put a link below. And I'll explain to you in this webinar how that works when you're in a pattern and you want to step out of it. And I hope it makes sense, because a lot of people don't really realize how much power they actually have. They feel powerless. They feel like they're always taking responsibility. But the truth is, you are responsible for your own happiness, and nobody's going to do it for you. If you don't take responsibility for your own happiness, then somebody else will make you miserable, right? Because when you put your happiness outside of yourself, you basically give away the key. You basically give away the key of your own heart, of your own happiness, of your own joy to somebody else. And the truth is, that other person is responsible for their happiness and not yours. Because the other person can't heal you. The only way you can do that is to heal yourself. So I hope this makes sense. And if you want to know more about the patterns and how you can change that, then please watch the webinar. It's free. It's 15 minutes of your time, and you will know so much. You will learn so much about what you can do to change things around if your marriage is not working out. I really hope you enjoy it. Let me know, please, in the comments. It's bit.ly/rock marriage. It's free. It's 15 minutes of your time. Go see it and let me know how you feel about it. And if you want to know more, you can always find more info on my website, and the link is below here. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate your time, and I will speak to you in the next episode. Love you guys. Bye.